Going deep, all about the quarterback today on Night of the Shield. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Night of the Shield. I'm Jason Smith, a.k.a. the Oakland Knight, and today we are going to be all about the quarterback. A lot of rumors are swelling around right now. We got Aaron Rodgers on the docket. We got Tom Brady on the docket. We got Derek Carr looking to be traded. We got Waller, Renfro, that all can tie into the quarterback situation. What is the best thing to do with the quarterback for this Las Vegas Raider team? Now, I just did a video not too long ago called Dysfunctional. I was talking about how this franchise has been dysfunctional for a very long time and how Mark Davis, for the past 12 years, have been front and center of making these decisions. And these are one of those things that I think Mark is making a mistake. I think the pressure that is on Dave and Josh is pushing things in a direction that I'm not fully comfortable with yet. And I only say that is because I've been doing this long enough. Even when I wasn't making videos, I was analyzing the football team. I was thinking about what I would like for them to do. And I've noticed we're not always right? Like our way of thinking is not going to be the way that either Mark's thinking or the general manager or the head coach, the position coaches. There's so many different decisions in unlike-minded people that make these decisions, right? But just from looking at the history, just from history alone, I think if we're not careful, we are going to put ourselves in a situation that's going to set us back several years. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start breaking this down so I don't keep you guys too long. I'm trying to do my best to keep these videos a little bit shorter. And like I said, eventually when I get my rhythm back, I definitely want to do a long version podcast, but have some short ones. But I like to talk. What can I say? It's who I am. So let's go ahead and let's start off with what we do know, right? We don't really have a quarterback on this football team right now. Two of them that are under contract. One is going to be either cut or traded, and the other one is he's a piece we picked up late last year. I'm not putting I don't think Josh is putting everything in on that. We don't have a quarterback at this point. We don't have a viable backup, and we don't have a starter. So I get where all this tension and all this, what are the Raiders going to do? And when we brought up Tom Brady and how he's been linked to Mark Davis for several years now, I get that. We've talked about that, and I get that, right? And I know there's people that like it, and I know that there's people that hate it, but it makes sense to me. I understand that why he would be in the conversation. But we can't sit here and wait too long for Tom to make his decision. Just can't. We find ourselves in a very unique situation, a situation that a lot of people are unhappy about because of the way the season played out, but we find ourselves with the 7th overall pick. Now, that pick can really be a game changer if done right. If done right, there's so many different options, and I don't know how much of it we'll be able to cover it logically today, but we'll talk about some of it. All right. But this Aaron Rodgers thing is what's scaring me the most, because let's face it, Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Aaron Rodgers has proved himself to be elite. Everything that we wanted to say Derek was, and for some who still believe Derek is, there is no mistake from anybody. Nobody can come on here and say Aaron Rodgers is not elite. Can't. And for as much hype as Derek and Davante got about their relationship, you could say that tenfold between Davante and Aaron Rodgers, because they've done it at the highest level. Again, another check for Aaron Rodgers when it comes to what kind of quarterback do we want for this football team, right? We have Aaron Rodgers going on the Pat McAfee show saying that he understands teams' financial situations and he's willing to restructure his deal to make it more team-friendly. Another check, right? Because one of the holdups that popped out to me right away is this reported $50+ million that could be owed to Aaron Rodgers, right? That would just from a financial point alone, it does not make sense for us. It don't. Not if we're trying to win now, which is my biggest problem with this whole thing is winning now. That's the biggest problem. We'll get into that more in a second. So what else can we say about Aaron Rodgers? Okay, what will Aaron Rodgers command? Oh, I don't know. 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks is what's rumored. It's been put out there that's what it could cost. At least 2 firsts. Some are saying 2 firsts, 2 seconds. And that's where the problem is with me. All the other boxes that we could go down the line and check, that is the thing that makes me the most nervous. That's the thing that I'm like, no. Even if Tom Brady goes to Miami, even if Tom Brady retires, I'm really, really skeptical on what we could put together. I've seen packages of Carr, Waller, and a first and second. That's too much. That's too much. No way. I don't think giving up that much capital is worth it at all. When I did the video about this organization being dysfunctional, it's true. We can't get out of our own way. We don't give coaches enough time to develop a culture, to implement a real solid foundation to build off of for the future. We just don't do it. And credit to Mark. I'll give credit where credit's due, right? You got to go with your heart sometime. You're the owner. It all starts with you. I mean, we could hate him. We could be mad at him. But he's the man that signs the checks, man. It's his decision. And he went out and gave John Gruden a $10 million a year deal for 10 years. He paid them all. He said, man, you're going to be the guy. You're going to be the guy that takes us to Vegas. You're going to be the guy that turns this whole thing around. And whether or not he would have, whether or not he was on the right track, it's so irrelevant. I really don't care at this point. All I know is whether or not Mark was going to back him the full 10, it's irrelevant now. He's gone. He's gone. So at least Mark was trying. But now Mark finds himself in a situation, right, where the Super Bowl's coming to Las Vegas. We're not winning. We made one playoff game and we got ousted. We haven't hosted a playoff game in Allegiant Stadium. Okay, you're in a city that people go to win. Okay, he's gambling at this point. He's rolling all the dice. He's going all in. And I get it, because he's upset because we don't fill the seats properly and there's too many of the opposing team's fans in the stadium, and he knows it takes a winning atmosphere to change. But Mark, let me ask you, is it all worth 1-2 years? Right? Aaron Rodgers is not guaranteed at 39 years of age to even play 2 years. I mean, all the reports about him leaving, he was going to be the host to Jeopardy, he was going to be all these things, right? Those are still out there for him when he's ready, right? And maybe he was saying all that, wanting to go and leave because he was unhappy in Green Bay, the way the Packers organization was being run. Do you think he's going to be any happier with Mark? Maybe. Maybe Josh and Dave turn this around and kind of show him something, and he ends up playing 2, 3, 4 years. And without being 100% sure that that's a guarantee thing, the capital that we'd have to give up to get Aaron Rodgers, to me, sets this organization back again. Again. He's 39. He's an injury away. Anything can happen. And you could say that with anybody, and I get it, but you're talking about a 39-year-old man. He's not guaranteed to be playing at 46 like Tom. And I know what you're all probably thinking. Well, what if we go and get Tom? Tom's going to be 46, and we're going to bring him in here. But Tom's not going to cost us the capital that it's going to cost for us to go get Aaron Rodgers. The guy's going to be a free agent. We just pay him whatever he wants to, which he's always done team-friendly deals. It's not going to be hard on our cap whatsoever. We're in complete control of how his contract affects our cap. And whether it's a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal, whatever Tom's comfortable doing, it's not going to hurt us. Tom would be coming for completely different reasons, and I get it. And we can't bank that Tom's coming. So what do? Do we go ahead and make a trade for a guy like Aaron Rodgers and just hope because we have Devontae that we at least get him for 3 years. Let's think about it, because again, I don't want this video to be too long, but let's honestly think about it real quick. We have the 7th overall pick. If either one of those guys doesn't come to this organization and say, I'm going to help you make a difference now. And mainly I'm talking about Tom Brady, by the way, because again, I'm not willing to give up the capital. We have to address the quarterback situation. There's a big difference between signing Tom Brady and then going out and getting a guy like Hendon Hooker late, who's injured, who we know can sit for a year, still be in the study room, still watch Tom Brady and his work ethic, and put something together, right? That's feasible, which frees up that 7th round pick to whether or not, like reports are saying, maybe an offensive tackle. Yeah, maybe, but maybe it's a defensive tackle. Maybe it's a defensive end. Maybe it's a linebacker. Things that I think that are more important. If we give up all that capital for Aaron Rodgers, what does that mean for our defense? That means for the next 2 years, we're not having a first-round defensive player. Unless we create that, right? Unless we create another first-round pick. But that's only going to be for 1 year. And there's options on how we can get draft capital back for a guy like Aaron Rodgers. But you know what that will look like? It would look like signing Josh Jacobs, or franchise tag Josh Jacobs. And then when people start making bids on him, let him go for 2 first-round picks. That's how we would get the capital for Aaron Rodgers. It may cost Josh Jacobs. Is that what you're into? I don't know. I know running backs are a dime a dozen, and I know their shelf life's not that big. I mean, I'm not ready to make that type of decision. I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility, right? And then you could still have that 7th round pick or another first round pick to get a defensive player, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what about this? What about all the latest rumors? I talked about it, I think last episode or the episode before, where I even said, we're not even sure how this regime feels about Waller and Renfro, right? And now it's being reported that they're on the trading block. And I think I know why. And I think it makes more sense for Hunter Renfro than it would be Darren Waller. I reported myself saying that I believe it only should be one of them. I don't necessarily feel like we should get rid of both. And right now, if you would have asked me like last week, I would have leaned more towards getting rid of Waller for draft capital than Hunter. But now, with all the reports with the Panthers grabbing Reich, or Rich, I don't know how you say his name, Reich, and how Houston was reportedly interested in bringing another Carr brother back into the fold in that organization, and with his brother David going around talking about Mark tried to trade me, that didn't work out too well. Let's see how he does with my brother, making comments like that. A Derek Carr, Hunter Renfro package makes perfect sense. And quite honestly, it's brilliant. How do you get Derek Carr to remove his no trade clause? You send him one of his best friends, right? Derek Carr is tied to 3 people that we know of that are his best close friends: Devontae Adams, Khalil Mack, and Hunter Renfro. Then you read all the reports about where Hunter Renfro was from. And I think I said it in one of my Derek Carr videos early on this month, where I was talking about one of the best places for Derek Carr to go to really have a chance to resurrect his career would be in the NFC South. And that's where he could possibly go, bring us someone that he's reliable with, that he has chemistry with, someone that stepped up when everybody else got hurt and went for over 1,000 yards receiving, and one of his best friends, right? He would be for that. He would be helping out his brother Hunter. He gets to go there with Hunter. It just makes sense to me. Just ding, 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 ding. And to me, that would at least guarantee a 2nd round pick, in my opinion. In my opinion, that would be worth a 2nd round pick. Hell, it might even be worth a 1st, to be honest with you. And if we can get Carolina to give up that 12th overall pick for Derek and Hunter. Maybe you add something else in there to sweeten the pot a little bit. Man, now we're talking about a generational move for the Raiders that makes sense, that makes us have an opportunity to get out of being a dysfunctional franchise. Now we have 2 first-round picks. Now we can get the trenches looked at. We can get a defensive lineman and an offensive lineman. We can get a defensive lineman and we can get a linebacker. We can get, like, that is what this organization needs. We're so caught up into the quarterback that we're forgetting that we have zero defense. Zero defense. We have one generational player on defense, and that's Max Crosby. We have a bunch of young cats that may grow in year 2, right? We have Butler, Billings, Masterson, okay players. They may do something. They may come around next year and actually be really good, or maybe they're just the same. We got Chandler Jones, who he's on his way out too, right? He got hurt last year, and he came on strong there towards the end. Hey, Chandler Jones brings something to this organization. I think we're paying him too much, but he's not generational at this point. Max Crosby's the only thing we got going on defense. That's it. Proven guaranteed lock is Max Crosby. We can't be giving up first and second round picks and saying we're going to build this defense up. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, unless something else emerges in on Twitter and in the media, it's talking about other opportunities or other solutions on how we get Aaron Rodgers, the only way that it would make sense to me is to franchise tag Josh Jacobs and hope that someone gives you 2 first-round picks for him and you let him move on, which I know is going to piss off the nation. I already know it's going to make you mad. But literally, that's the only way that it would even make sense to me. And I don't know how worth it is. I mean, I'd pay Jacobs 12. I'd pay Jacobs 13 and a half. $13.5 million, 3 years. Jacobs proved he's a dog. Remember, he didn't get a lot of carries in college, so he's a little fresher than most running backs that come out of college, right? But we need to address that quarterback situation smart. Tom Brady was a 6th-round draft pick in 2000. He didn't get playing time until 2001, and the rest is history. He built that franchise off a rookie contract himself. Jalen Hurst, rookie contract. Joe Burrow, rookie contract. Brock Purdy, rookie contract. Patrick Mahomes, not on a rookie contract, but he made his mark as a rookie on a rookie deal. He proved it, then got paid, which helped that team build all the way around and be a stable organization. And if either one of those quarterbacks don't work out, we have to take a hard look at that 7th round pick for something that could possibly come in here and make a difference now. And if that means trading Carr and Renfro for another opportunity, possible another 1st round pick, we could package up to ensure that, then so be it. That makes more sense to me than giving up all of the 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and even a player or something to get a guy who's 39 that may or may not give us 2-3 years. Maybe. We can't even guarantee that. And no contract can guarantee that. He can retire at any time he wants to. And nobody has a crystal ball to talk about injuries. Every franchise needs a quarterback. Period. Right? Defense wins championships. That's what we hear all the time. But guess what? Quarterbacks build dynasties. We have to get this right. We're thinking too short term. Mark, if you ever have an opportunity just to listen to what I have to say, which is probably a long shot, it's okay to put the pressure on Dave and Josh to say, hey, you guys need to turn this thing around. But if you put too much pressure and force these gentlemen to make a decision that doesn't make sense for you long term, it don't matter if we make the playoffs next year. We're not guaranteed a Super Bowl, dude. Tom Brady does not guarantee us a Super Bowl victory. I feel if we get Tom Brady and we play the rest of our cards right in Vegas, we could have an opportunity to make a run for that. We definitely should be a playoff team. And I think that's deservable pressure on Dave and Josh. But if you press too hard and you force and think that a quarterback is going to be the only way we do that, I don't know. I think long term, it sets us back. Sets us way back. Sets us way back. You want to give up that type of draft capital, we better find ourselves a young, proven quarterback that can come in here and make a difference. And that doesn't exist, in my opinion. We need to be smart. We need to stop being stupid. Get all hype and excited over the name. And I can't stop any of this from happening, by the way. And I'll be excited if we get Aaron Rodgers. I'm not even going to lie about that. He's a good quarterback. I told you, he checks the boxes. But I'm not going to be happy about the capital we give up to do it. That could hurt this team big time. Because quarterback or not, that 7th round pick is either going to give us more picks and a defensive linebacker, or that pick is going to give us our future quarterback, or that pick is going to give us possibly a generational offensive tackle. That is going to pay more dividend than giving up more than that to get a quarterback on his way out, even if it gives us an opportunity to have a chance at the dance. It does not guarantee. If we had a defense, if we already had a good defense, we were that defensive team, I'll pull the trigger. But we're not. We are far, far from being a team that can make sense of all that. Anyway, that's all I got to say, man. I mean, leave a comment in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer as much of them as I can. I want to have the conversation. Tell me what you think. It doesn't matter if you hate Brady and rather have Rodgers over Brady. That's not what I'm trying to say. Is Aaron Rodgers worth the capital it would take to give up? And do you think that it won't set us back for the future, giving up 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds? You know, what do you think about what I said about Josh Jacobs? Are you willing to throw Jacobs out there on a gauntlet to get possible 2 first round picks to justify the Rodgers trade? I'm not. I still think that sets us back. Give me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for these last few videos. You guys have been rocking with me and killing it, man. I appreciate every single one of you. Continue to hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, so you can be updated every time I drop another video. Help me get this out there. Share this video on other platforms. Get it out there on Twitter, wherever you guys kick it and hang out with other Raider fans. Let your friends know at work, whatever. I appreciate every single one of you. I will see you guys on the next one. And until then, y'all stay Raider strong. Night out.